All right, so I just got done watching season one, episode 8 of Marvel's 2017 Spider-Man series. Uh, it's called Stark Expo. This is something that has been hinted at and led up to pretty consistently throughout the first 7 episodes. And we're here. We're at the Stark Expo, and yep, we're doing crossovers. It turns out we're doing crossovers. So Iron Man is in this show. Immediately, I realized that Iron Man was going to show up, and I thought to myself, are they going to do a Robert Downey Jr. impersonation? And they sure did. They sure modeled this guy after the MCU, and he sounds fucking terrible. But this was the best episode of the series so far because this episode had a heart. It had an interesting plot. I will say that a big issue I'm having with this series is that while it is a kids show, they're doing like what I'm calling plot stacking. So like everything, it doesn't just conclude story arcs. Like they kind of stick around. So this episode like dead opens with what would be the word? What was it I wrote in my notes here? Was quick reflection in the symbiote arc. And it's we introduced the fact that Spider-Man really looks up to Tony Stark, and how Tony Stark's dope and whatever. And they don't establish right away that everybody knows who Iron Man is. But it's made clear really quickly, like halfway through the episode, or maybe 10 minutes into the episode. But they don't make that clear at the beginning. But we should have assumed that because this is a rip on people's understanding of the MCU. So they don't explain what his arc reactor does. They don't explain any of that because Iron Man's more famous than, or more well understood than Spider-Man is, at least like right now. I mean, historically that's not true, but yeah, I'm making coffee while I do this. I don't give a shit about this show that much, but so yeah, this episode revolves around all of them. They're competing in the Stark Expo. Harry Osborn's got his glider, his what will inevitably be a Hobgoblin or a Green Goblin glider. Peter Parker did some shit with the Venom suit, whatever it was called, the V-52, the B-52's Rock Lobster Black Spider-Man suit. Immediately, Iron Man confronts Spider-Man while he's sort of dealing with this rooftop character, the bad guy that we're calling Ghost. We never see the alter ego of Ghost, but his voice sounded incredibly familiar. He's been the voice of many of bad guys in past animated series, like not just Spider-Man, but just generally. The whole crossover thing with fucking Tony Stark is just fun, but it's like that impression is so bad because they're trying to model him right after the MCU. It's gross. Flash Thompson, representing his high school, brings his baking soda volcano, which I thought was kind of cute. Just yuck on Tony Stark for real. But yeah, the fucking sarcasm that Tony Stark has in this episode is like really bad. It reminded me of how bad like some Peter Parker's one-liners were when he was being like having a bad attitude and stuff. Mick Winfrey is the name that of the guy that voiced him. So fuck Mick Winfrey. Sorry, big guy. I'd love to have you on the show to talk about your voice acting career, but this was bad and very funny at the same time. Yeah. So to save the day, this guy's like haunting it. He's like he can walk through walls and all this shit. This bad guy Ghost, and he takes over all the tech at the Stark Expo, and a lot of it gets destroyed and all this stuff. So technology's not working. So Spider-Man realizes, oh, I have to put the black symbiote suit back on. And that's what he does. He goes full rage, just fucking. But he destroys these like vulture soldiers that Norman Osborn has, and Doc Ock shows up out of fucking nowhere with his Doc Ock shit, but he's a bad guy kind of, but we can't really tell because Ghost is that. They like really tagged in the Doc Ock thing in this one, but that's a point I'm going to talk about at the very end of this review. I'm having a hard time making coffee here. Here, give me a sec, guys. Give me a sec here. Just talk about something else quick. I thought that the new Kanye West record was pretty good. I think it's getting bad reviews because people are scared to admit that somebody who even flirted with supporting Donald Trump can make good music. Because people are ridiculous. Yeah, that boycott's going well. Yeah, boycotting Kanye West is going to solve fucking world politics issues. Yeah, that's genius. You're great. You're smart. You're dope. You think Peter Parker in this Spider-Man show would be a Kanye West fan? Because I don't think he would be. I think that Tony Stark in the MCU wouldn't like Kanye West, but Tony Stark in the Marvel Spider-Man 2017 universe would. This new coffee I got, I'm not fucking with it too hard. So, yeah, he puts on the symbiote suit, rages out. Iron Man's like, yo, big guy, you're raging out. You gotta chill. And since they can't do the Sonic Boom, Sonic the Hedgehog, the Sonic Boom with the vulture screams and all that, they Flash Thompson. This was dope. I called this in my last review, or in 2 reviews ago maybe. But Flash Thompson pulls off the Venom suit with help from Tony Stark and everybody else because they can't do the Sonic Boom because the tech's all controlled or whatever. He pulled the suit off, and Flash just gets a quick vision of the Venom suit like face or whatever, the Venom face, and I was like, oh yeah, baby, we're getting the Agent Venom, I think it was. I looked it up after my last review, but that's sick. That's so sick. I'm so down. Also, I hate these reviews because in the thumbnails I can see how much weight, and this is really really self-conscious. Like in these reviews in the thumbnails, I can see how much weight I've gained or lost over time. Sometimes my neck beard here, will skew what it looks like, but yeah, I drink a lot of alcohol, honestly. I should smoke weed before I do these reviews, and I'm gonna admit that right here. If I was high for all of these, the first one I did, I was pretty blazed, and I think it was much more, like the dialogue is much easier to remember in that regard. Let's see if I wrote down any of the dialogue in this one. Yeah, they just set up so much. Yeah, this is the big thing I put in my notes here was that I didn't want to forget this one. It's really unclear if Doc Ock is trying to help or not in this episode until the end, which is clearly that he's pissed off. But the last 5 or 6, 7 minutes of this episode, and this has happened throughout the whole series, but just scattered throughout, is that it feels like the MCU post-credit sequences. It feels like this show is whole plot threading is based around every episode kind of having these post-credit sequences that hint at bigger and bigger things. Plot stacking, right? Because we've stacked Doc Ock onto it now. We're still building up the Green Goblin. And we're Norman is trying to pit Harry against his best friend Peter, slowly but surely. And there's kind of something going on with Max Modell. Miles intervened actually in this episode in a way where it was like, yeah, and I know that the next episode is called Ultimate Spider-Man, so I think I know what's going to happen. Hey, yeah, us nerd guys, us guys who read comics, we're in tune with this stuff. This was the best episode, though. This was definitely the best episode, and that's not saying much, but this was a lot of fun just because it really was just they tied it. There was so much shit going on, honestly, even though it was really easy to sit and watch. See, I don't know, yeah. In the comments below, let me know if you prefer to watch me do these reviews while I'm eating or while I'm not eating. If you like it when my glasses are on or my glasses are off, or whether or not I'm in my robe. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. This was a good episode, honestly. This was fun, but it was stupid as shit. Thanks for watching.